Hi everyone, we are LaChiMoLaLa,
LaChiMoLaLa.
and this is another review for Tomorrow by Together To Do episode 60, which was a continuation of the last one where they are cops in the To Do village and they are helping people, or AKA playing games. Which helps people. It helps us. Relax.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the whole thing starts off with them eating, right? So they're all
They're on their lunch break.
Yeah, so they're continuing off from like you said, from part one, and they're eating. And so under, what was the bowls that they had? Like, it was some sort of like,
it was rice
bowl, right? And
yeah,
so
it was, everyone had a rice bowl, and some of them had like a special sticker on the bottom with like a mission.
Yeah, so so Huening Kai, for him, he was lucky enough to get that little sticker that says delete a mission, which is great.
Which was good because he had the most missions by far.
Which is great for him, yeah. And then Taehyun, he got the one where he could choose somebody to copy one of his missions,
which is also a really good one.
Yeah.
And then I don't think he had to do it, right? He could just give it away. He could just swap it.
Yeah, but that's not what he did.
No, you're right. It was copy. You're right. It was copy. So sorry, guys. Because he and Yeonjun both ended up doing it.
Right. And so, was that it for the two of them? I thought there was a third one to that. No.
Oh yeah. Bongyu had one.
Oh.
I think the same as Huening Kai's. He could pass it on. But I don't remember him using it because he only had one punishment or two. I think maybe he only had two, and he kind of enjoys punishments, so I don't remember him using it. I don't think he did.
Yeah. He definitely didn't use his sticker thing or whatnot, so he never gave any punishment or mission away. So,
which is hilarious because both Subin and Yeonjun were like super depressed they didn't get one.
Yeah. I'm like, why? Should be happy. Yeah, so then after they had their lunch, so then they head back to their desk, which was like really hilarious because they all looked really bored. It seemed like they were waiting for an emergency to happen. And I don't know if you remember, but Subin, he was humming to he was humming, going a do 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 do, and I was like, I know that beat. The boys, girl ride, look at you,
right.
You know. So he did that, and then all the guys seemed to be so fascinated about Taehyun and this pen that he was doing some sort of trick with his finger because it looked like magic. And so Bongyu and Yeonjun was like, oh, and so was Subin. He was like mesmerized too, but not as much as the other two, you know. And so
easily distracted.
Yeah, and Huening Kai, he I don't think he was that distracted. He was like, like whatever kind of thing. So then the first mission happens, and it was someone's grandmother that they couldn't get in contact with. So they had to go check up on her. So then this is where like the games come in, and I don't know about you, but these are very creative games. Like, I've never played any of these games at all. Yeah, like,
I thought it was telling that this game, they called it the apartment game, and like only Yeonjun and Subin knew what it was. Everyone else was like, what? I've never heard of this. Which I was surprised because normally that's when they make a crack about how Yeonjun was born in the last century. And that's why he knows stuff like this. But I was like, I've never heard of this either. It was almost just like a dog pile of hands.
Yeah.
And whoever like got stuck at the end was it, basically. Which was really weird. I mean, I was just like, what is this? I assume it's some like preschool game there.
Yeah. So they were just like stacking hands, and it kind of reminded me of like, well, I guess it's not like Jenga, but
A
yeah.
little bit though, like,
I
yeah,
mean,
like building a tower and everything. It was like the reverse of Jenga. You didn't want to get to the top.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so, but yeah, this one, Yeonjun finally got a punishment from it, or a mission. And
Mhm.
so, he wound up losing that one.
Which was ironic because, like I said, it seemed like he was the only person who really knew how to play.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I was hoping that Huening Kai wouldn't get another punishment because it seemed like the cards were not in his favor at all. Like he had all
It
these
was getting
missions ready.
overwhelming.
Yeah. So I'm glad that he was not the one that didn't lose to that game, so. Yeah, and so they did like a few more games afterwards before doing their missions for the skit, and the next one was pretty much them being distracted again, and they had no idea that the production crew was leaving like a bell and a little siren thing, like I don't
Almost
know.
no idea. Huening Kai definitely was watching.
Yeah, so he was the only one that paid attention, but all the other guys were like, how do you do that with the pen? Is that how you do it with the pen? Like, did you glue it? And it's just so funny how like they're so intrigued by that trick. Like they
Yes.
totally, it was like a pause, like they did that apartment game, and then they went back to like,
They went back to it.
yeah. I'm like,
And do you
it
also
that
remember
interesting?
Yeonjun was like trying to see if everyone could like flip their pen around, and Bomgu was doing it, and he's like, "You're not doing it right." And then he was showing him, and Bomgu's like, "Only people who are bad at studying know how to do that." And Yeonjun's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm an expert. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, and then Yeonjun, I think he did like some sort of tapping too. He's like, yeah, the really bad students did this, and then he did like some sort of movement,
But everyone's like, "Oh yeah, those students are bad." I was like, "What? Is that a thing?"
I guess so. I mean, I used to tap my desk or whatever when I was thinking, and
seems pretty judgy.
Yeah, I mean, I came out okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got my master's, so that means something. So, and so Huening Kai was the first person to ring this bell. And,
it was another race to the buzzer kind of a situation.
Yeah, and then everyone else except for Bomgyu was sitting.
Didn't even try.
He's like, whatever, I already lost this. Like he is
just playing with the pen.
Mm-hmm. Yep, still distracted and still looking like, like, oh yeah, I'm super cute kind of thing, like, And so he just assumed that he lost, and then the production crew was like, whoever rang the bell first is the loser. And like it was so funny because everyone was like, initially they're like, who rang the bell first? And they're like, oh, Huening Kai. And he's like, ugh. And again,
but they told the punishment before they said who got the punishment. So they all thought it was the last person. So they thought it was Bomgyu. And they were like, the punishment is you have to be like super cute and adorable every time you finish a sentence, like at the camera, like all winky and cute and hearts and stuff. And Bomgyu was like, oh, perfect. I'm perfect at this. I'm great at this. And he immediately started doing it because he's extra. And then they were like, it's not you. You didn't lose. Huening Kai, and he was like visibly disappointed. He was like, I would have, Moa would have loved it if that was me. This is terrible.
Yeah. Okay, honestly, he would have been so good at it because he already did it already. So. He already did
it. And Huening Kai, though, he was like, oh, I can do this. This is doable. I'll keep this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than the other punishment that he got, which was clapping with his feet.
Yes, which was terrible.
That would have been a bad punishment. Oh my goodness. So then the next one wound up being the like someone called and say, help, I'm getting scammed through a text or something like that.
Oh, that's right. It was voicemail phishing, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
They were all like, phishing in your voicemail? I think because they were like, why would anyone listen to their voicemail? It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So the funny thing is that like I guess the whole mission was for them to find any misspellings. So they were going through the text, and one by one everyone was getting it except for Kai. Again.
Which makes sense because, as we all know, he speaks many languages. I'm not sure Korean's the first one he learned. I would be terrible at spelling in another language. I can't even spell in English. 100%. Cannot.
Okay, wait.
That's what contact is for.
To be fair, English does have some difficult words. I mean,
yes. I'm sure every language does.
No, I'm just kidding. Not a word.
I'm telling you, I always write desert as dessert and vice versa, so whatever.
Yeah. English is such a complex language, so yeah.
Don't do it, guys. Don't do it.
Yeah, but yeah, poor Kai again, because he's like, oh man, I think it was Yeonjun that like called out one of the mistakes first. Was it either Yeonjun or Bomgyu, one of the two? And Kai looked so disappointed. He was like, I was gonna say that word. Why?
He only found one mistake and someone called it before him, and he was like, I can't. I'm done.
Yeah. So wah, wah. And I'm just sitting right there. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's gonna do like 10,000 punishments like by the end of this.
It's not fair.
Yeah. So again, my heart was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Kai. So sorry. Yeah. So then that was another game that they did, and then rang the bell again, or did that little bell thing, and I forgot the premise for that one. For the bell ringing for the second time. And all I remember is that Yeonjun lost that one. So,
but he definitely didn't think he would, and he went in with a strategy. He was like, it's better not to be first and not to be last. He's like, I'll be in the middle. And he's like, number 3 is definitely safe. And then he was the loser.
Yeah. and then the part that I remember for this, he looked at the production crew and he's like, you guys just made that up, and then they're like, nope. And then they showed like the transcript, like, yeah, number 3 was the one that is gonna lose. And so it's so funny that like they always challenge like the production crew all the time,
right? Even like in the episode before with the drones, when they were like, who was flying this one, and the production wouldn't say who it was, and Yeonjun's like, hey, and he like took one of the controllers. He's like, it was you. I knew it was you. Like they always, you're right, they are very, it's funny, production is as much a part of the show as they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's no real fourth wall here.
Yeah. And so but actually in this episode they do the drones in this one, so that's actually one of the games, right? So where Subin actually loses in this one, and so, or this is how he got his like pop-in like punishment because of the drones. So
when they were trying to catch him in the butterfly net.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was hilarious because the premise of that was that like a man's super drunk and you need to get him home.
Oh yeah.
So the whole time it was like everyone got one real quick. Bongyu got one in like 2 seconds.
And Kai
like, yeah,
too.
I know. I'm amazing. I love his confidence. And then when Yeonjun and Subin were fighting over the last one, I loved how they both kept talking to it like it was a real man. They were like, Ajashi, like, which is, it's like a respectful term for an older gentleman than you. So it was hilarious how they were like, come with me, come on, let me help you, let me do it. It was so adorable. I I was like, why are they talking to that drone?
Oh man, yeah, that was so funny. And after everything was said and done, Taehyun comes over and he's like, "Why didn't you guys just do it like this?" And he showed it like the easy way with like the net. And then both of them were like, "Oh,"
because there was an extension in the bottom portion.
yeah.
But you know, they're both tall, so they just stood on their tippy toes. They were like,
Yeah.
"What's the big deal? We can reach
Yeah.
the ceiling."
Yeah, they're both super tall, so it's like, whatever.
It like never occurred to them. I don't think tall people look for things to make things taller or longer. They just think that they can do it. You know, if it'd been you or me, we would have officially looked for that first.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I totally would have. You know? Hashtag short people problems.
But none of them used it. It was crazy. Like the other guys got them while they were low at the ground, and then that one was all the way up the ceiling, but the tall guys were fighting over it, so it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that hard for them just to like reach with the net, you know?
No.
Yeah. But it looked really funny though, because like both of them were like, "Oh, huh, okay." Yeah. Yeah, I think that was it. And so then they moved on to actually doing the skit. So
now they've got like all the punishments and they were reading them all out, but then they got the opportunity to use the clues on the bottom of their rice bowls. So Hyun Kai was smart and he got rid of clap with your feet, which was a terrible. I was even thinking, how's he going to do that with all the other stuff he has to do? Impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Taehyun gave Yeonjun the say meow at the end of every sentence. So they both had to do that, which was perfect. Yeonjun wanted that, and he was like, "Oh, it's so cute, yay!"
Yeah, and for Yeonjun, I felt like he wound up getting the most punishments, right? Because he had to jump on certain words like no, right?
Yes, when I think he was number 3, right? He had to do a big hit jump, which I was like, I don't know what that means, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's his label, but obviously I wonder if Him and Bang maybe does that kind of a jump or something. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. Could you?
Yeah, I think the jumps that they normally do is like for BTS and stuff like that, when they want to transport to like the next like scene. That's what they normally would do.
That makes so much sense. I was like, I don't understand why he has to jump like all the time. But you're right. Yeah, he had to jump. He had to say meow. And then there was something else. Oh, every time someone said his name, he had to wink.
Yeah.
Which he was also like, I got this. I'm good at this.
You totally did that way better than I did. I'm like, and you're like,
yeah. But Subin only had to pop, right? That was it.
Yeah,
he had like no punishments.
It was like a lot though for him because he did it
for every word of the sentence.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much. I also loved how he was like, "Oh, I can do this. We did this a lot when we were trainees." And they were all like, "Yeah, we did." And I was like, "What? Was there like a whole popping course you had to get through before you can become an idol?" Like, excuse me, can I see those videotapes?
I know, seriously. And I'm like, and he was talking and popping or whatever. I'm like, really? You guys did this as a trainee? Like, just that looks like a robot.
Really hilarious, and I was wondering if it's something they put in after Jin, because it seems like Jin never went through that course due to Sawuzu, if anyone's seen that.
Poppin'.
Maybe it's like parallel parking, something they make the younger kids do, but they didn't make the older kids do. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Taehyun only had to say meow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bongyu couldn't speak in any English. Oh, you're right. Wait, I think he did get rid of something. He got rid of the historical voice. He was supposed to talk in a historical voice.
Oh, him too?
I think he got rid of that.
With Hyun Kai? Hyun Kai had to do the historical voice.
Hyun Kai had to do that weird folk singer voice.
Oh.
They're slightly different.
Okay, got it.
But just a little bit. But I remember Bongyu thought he could do it, but everyone made fun of him. They were like, how is that historical? He's like, I don't know. How do people back then talk? Can you tell me? No, you cannot.
Yeah. Him and his sass.
He's so sassy.
Yeah.
And then, so Hyun Kai had the crazy voice, being cute at the end of everything. Got rid of the claps, but there was something else too. Ooh,
No,
because
I
he and
think.
Yeonjun had the same. They both had 3.
Oh, really? I thought he only had 2.
Did he only have 2?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, because he won't. Yeah, yeah. I think he only had 2 by the end of it. Because
Oh,
I looked at
wow.
it, and I looked at it because I
He
remember
did
like,
good.
yeah, because like I remember looking at it and I was like, oh, Yeonjun, wow, he wound up getting more,
Booster.
I know. He started off with 0 in the beginning and then wound up with like the most. So
And so then they have to like run through this skit, which is probably like 5 or 6 pages, but anytime they mess up, they have to start over all the way over from the beginning. So of course you're all like ganging up on whoever's the worst. And I
yeah.
just loved how Yeonjun had to start it off, and it was like running in and dramatically saying something, and like between the meows and the jumping and the winking, it was like you really didn't need to watch anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was funny because I was like, what? Like he was doing like the big hit jump, and I'm like, how come you're stomping your feet so much? I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to stomp every single time. It's so dramatic.
He gave it 110% every
he
time. And
he totally
because he
did.
was first, this is the perils of going, being at the beginning, he had to do it the most. So it was like, but instead of getting less energetic, he got more energetic.
Yeah,
It was
totally
so
did.
funny. I
Yeah.
was dying. And I loved how production kept being like, bang, bang,
Yep.
doing
Yeah.
it wrong, doing it wrong.
The whole sirens. Oh my goodness. It's like, and then every single time the sirens went off, like you see in their faces, like, ugh,
Because
like,
they couldn't go home. They couldn't get off work till they got it right.
like
Which
I would.
Subin kept mentioning. He's like,
Yeah,
don't you want to go home? Obviously he did. It was like, don't you want to go home, guys? Get it together.
I know, like, come on, chop chop.
And I love the filter they put on Huening Kai when he was doing really cutesy. And like, he was all like,
All of his missions were like, he was really good at his punishments. Like, kudos to him. Like, I mean, I think he messed up the least,
yeah. And he
So
talked a lot too. So there was like a lot of back and forth with what he was doing. So he had to do his punishments a lot.
yeah, and he was so good with being like super cute, like
He obviously has watched enough Jimin videos to know what he's doing.
Yes, exactly.
And I loved how they also had to do those acronistic, or I forget how you say it, those weird poems that they apparently love in Korea, that you and I are sure should be funnier, but we don't understand because I don't think the subtitles really do it justice.
Yeah.
No offense. Thank you for subtitles, people. We love you. I could not watch these episodes without you. I just feel like it maybe doesn't translate well. Like the humor, it's very specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anytime they had to say like a syllable, they had to be like, go, meow. Go, hey. Like it was so ridiculous because there were so many words, but they were all just like one little syllable at a time.
Yeah. And so that was interesting. I think that it was at a point where like I think it was Yeonjun that messed up and everyone's like, and Subin's like, we have to start from the beginning again and hear all those poems. And I was like, dang.
And they were so mad because they did get to like make up that portion. That was obviously the improv portion. They were so mad at Bomgyu because they thought his poems sucked. But they were so mad they messed up and then they had to go back to the beginning and start all over. So it was like, why'd you do that?
I know.
Why'd you do that? You could have been done like that.
Well, I think Bomgyu was making fun of Yeonjun, right? In the process or something like that. And then like he wound up messing up from that point, and everyone's like, ah. And he also said like for someone who only had one punishment, he messed up a few times. Like, and then he's like,
yes,
okay. And then the siren went off, right? He's like, ah. And then the guys were like, why would you say okay? And just
it was literally like his first line.
Yeah, it really was.
It was so bad.
And the look
although
on his
I do
face.
understand, it seems so hard because there's like such a amalgamation of those words in there, like imagine, I mean, we both live in Southern California. Imagine if you weren't allowed to say any Spanish words.
Oh my god.
Like, I think that would actually be harder than we think.
I
I
think
use them all the
so.
time without even thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
But you're
man.
right. He couldn't even get through the first sentence and they had to go back. It was like Yeonjun had his like breathless intro monologue like 20
Yeah.
times.
And I think production felt so bad for them. Like they're like, okay, like you guys could start off not from the beginning, but from whoever didn't do the poems, you know, like you could start from
I think
there.
production also wanted to go home.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah. So
I do feel like they take pity on them though, like you said. They do a good job of, usually they'll like wheedle with them and they'll like give them the cute eyes and just be like, can we just, I mean, we're never gonna make it. Like they just do what Huening Kai did, but to production. And they're like,
yeah.
please. Mm,
Mm,
mm.
mm.
But it always works. It
it,
always works.
it always does. So then they wound up doing their skits after all the what felt like half the episode was pretty much a skit and them like messing up the scenes several times, you know, like
Yes.
all three
And Subin
different
yelling
scenes.
at everyone. That's what I mostly remember. Just Subin yelling. Like,
Subin's
get
like, come
it
on.
together.
Yeah.
How much
What?
more popping do I have to do?
I know. And he only had to do the popping and you know.
He was
It's
really good at it though. It was frightening.
yeah, he was really, really good at it. Yeah. But yeah, so they wound up finishing their skits. It was hilarious. And yeah, they wound up getting gift cards afterwards. Like they were like
Oh
so,
yeah.
yeah, they
It
were
was
all
so
in
cute.
shock.
And then who got an extra gift card? I'm pretty sure Huening Kai did, right? Because it was his birthday coming up, and like Taehan's like, here, have my gift card.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right. I thought you meant by production. I'm like, did I miss that part? Yeah.
but then Yeonjun's birthday was also coming up, so Bomgyu's like, here, and he gave him his empty envelope that he'd already taken the gift card out of.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Thanks.
Oh, such brothers. Oh my gosh.
The shade of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at least after all that, they got something out of it. Although they were surprised. They were like, we really get something? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So much humility, you know? So which is great. Like they always act like they're poor too, and I'm sure they're not poor. So
Oh my gosh, there was a to-do episode not that long ago where there were like 5 prizes, and the biggest prize was a ramen cooker. And they were literally going gangbusters for it. They're like, oh, we need one of those so bad. And I was like, how expensive could a ramen cooker be? Like, they were desperate to win it. Desperate.
oh my gosh. That's
So I hope they
crazy.
took those gift cards and bought a ramen cooker. You deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But it was cute. It was a bunch of silliness, these 2 episodes, but it was cute.
yeah, definitely cute. A lot of mini games that like I learned from them. Like I mean, the apartment again. Back to the apartment game. I'm so mesmerized by that game because I'm like, I wish I learned that game when I was a kid. I think I would have had a lot of fun with that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And much like Squid Game, these all felt like those tiny, like little kid games that, but now anytime I see things like this, I think of that. So I was just like, this could go horribly wrong. Luckily, it didn't. They all survived. They kept their
Yes.
pretty faces, and they got gift cards. So
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, so they pretty much earned their prizes. So, which a very classic of any To Do or Run BTS episodes. You know, like they always get something in the end, I feel like. So, all right. So, I enjoyed this episode. It was really fun. It was super cute. And yeah, I can't wait for the next one. What about you, Beth?
Oh yeah, I love this episode. First of all, there's uniforms, there's punishments, there's prizes. Anytime they're being silly, which I know is all the time, I enjoy it. So this was good for me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, me too. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for watching our recap discussion, reaction, whatever you call it.
All the R's.
Yeah, all of it. All of it. So, yeah, so hopefully you'll watch our next one. It will be episode 61. So, we are LaChiMoLaLa. And we will see you guys for episode 61. 안녕.
안녕.